Welcome to this week in the world of wrestling.
Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John, that's my co-orange commentary Ashton, and this is our Lucha Underground review, and baby, I'm feeling it tonight. Oh, I'm feeling it tonight, because tonight is a good night. This was an amazing episode of Lucha Underground. We got some very interesting cinematic vignettes. We got one man finally stepping into the spotlight. We got amazing matches, a phenomenal main event with a finish that just left me out of my goddamn mind. I fucking love this show. If anybody can hook me up with a doctor anywhere in the world that I could switch my blood with this shit, please, I am begging you. I am begging you, call me. This was fucking incredible. Asher, what'd you think of it?
Dude, this was such a fun show, and I think really that I'm starting to realize with Lucha Underground that even though every episode is at least good, what makes the episode great is that one match that really manages to put it over the top. Or, I mean, it doesn't even have to be a match. That one segment, because it can be a match or a vignette or a cinematic or anything like that. But if it has just that one thing on any given episode that really makes it pop and makes you go like, oh my god, this changes everything, I really do think that's what's like the biggest factor in whether a Lucha Underground episode is just your standard amazing or amazing.
Exactly, dude.
And this week, I felt like we got almost, I would even say 3 of those like game-changing segments, including the main event match itself.
Dude, you know, what's so great about this show, even if not necessarily, like when you come down, and especially, which is why I love when we do the Lucha rewatch series and you're able to really pick things apart more, even if not everything is quote-unquote perfect, which, after all, what really is.
Yeah.
You can see, and here's what it comes down to for me, right? You can see the love. And I know that sounds so cliche, but you can really see the love for this in every episode, because every storyline that they have been juggling, you can see a love and an attentiveness and a caring to it with every detail and every step forward taken. I've just never seen a product like this, and I know we've said that a million times, but we'll say it a million times more. Why? Because it's true, and when something's true, you should never stop saying it. Yeah, this is just amazing to me. With that said, let's just get right into the first segment. Heat of the night.
Good joke.
Why is this even guys, I'm going to shoot straight with you.
Are we both in the Arctic now, which thank you for inviting me, John, but now we've managed to climb atop a mountain and get a ride on a cloud. So we're also on cloud 9 in the Arctic.
Exactly. And for those of you thinking, oh, like Goku's Nimbus? Sweet,
yeah,
naive little child.
Like that, except it doesn't look like it's been pissed on.
Exactly. It's so much better.
And it's about 30 times bigger, so we can kind of fit, a television set and a few couches, and obviously we need a space heater so we don't freeze. But yeah.
What's terrifying me, and I mean this as a compliment, is it's really starting to scare me that as far as Lucha Underground reviews are concerned, Heat of the Night, even announcing it, is more just a formality than anything else. Because even if these guys don't necessarily make the best decision, or maybe we felt like it could have gone a different way, that doesn't necessarily equate that it was bad. And I haven't even seen what I'm talking about yet. That's the beautiful thing, too.
The beautiful thing with this compared to WWE, with WWE, we have almost, on occasion, and I know we did this with the New Day originally, and we were right until they completely changed everything that they were planning on doing, but we have almost like a preparatory Heat of the Night saying, I know that it hasn't been bad yet, but they are going to screw this up.
Right.
And Lucha Underground is the exact opposite, because we say we know it's not great yet, but we know they're going to get this right.
Like, I am still on the high. I have not come down yet.
Brother, just thinking about how good they are compared to WWE and how much we can put our faith in them to get it right. I have goosebumps just talking about it.
I do too. Dude, I'm telling you, their consistency to come up to bat and hit it out of the park. And here's the thing too that I want to keep in mind, just so everybody knows too, because I think this needs to be said. Even if Lucha Underground, because it does have to happen eventually, it happens to everybody. The difference between Lucha Underground to me and every wrestling promotion that I've watched, even if they hit a rough patch one of these days, even if they have an angle or whatever that we just think is bad, unlike WWE where I feel like that's really consistent, to me it's going to be such a rarity for Lucha Underground because I could see them fixing and changing course if that day ever comes. And that's the big difference here. It's not that I don't expect Lucha Underground to ever falter. It's just actually, you know what? To put it perfectly, Ashton, it's exactly like you said in the Raw review. You said in our Raw review that you hated that WWE can come on, say that they know that their product sucks and not do anything. That's the exact opposite problem with Lucha Underground because I feel like if they ever do hit a rough patch, they would recognize it and they would do something about it.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm so confident in these
guys.
And
they wouldn't need to come out and tell you, hey guys, we screwed up in order for them to get the reaction that they want because they would just change it in a way that gets the reaction that they want.
Exactly. Show, not tell for
exactly.
these guys.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And that's the thing too is with Lucha Underground, I feel like we can sit back and enjoy it. And, it's a combination of I feel bad for, but also I kind of feel a little bit of resentment towards people that watch Lucha Underground with a critical eye. And I know I shouldn't feel that resentment because, there are, I feel like we kind of do the same with WWE and maybe even sometimes NXT and that kind of stuff. So I shouldn't be so resentful towards people that are just kind of doing what most wrestling reviewers on YouTube do. But to me, Lucha Underground has gotten me so sold on it that I can't even imagine watching an episode and thinking, oh, they could have done that better. Or, oh, I don't really like what that wrestler did in that match. Or, I don't really like there are so many plot holes in this story. Like, first of all, I can't even think of any plot holes right now. And second of all, even if I could, I would almost feel like, is it even really a plot hole or are they going to tie that up in a few episodes? Because that's just kind of how they roll.
I mean, Ashton, you saying that, I want to reference something, and I don't, do this to, call anybody out. This is just to show that, again, everybody's feedback on TWitWoW matters to us, and the guy wasn't even critical. But we had a comment, I believe it was on the Raw review recently, where they said, it's not that I disagree with the guy. So again, cool guy, no problem. But he said, I had a conversation with my friend, and we agree nobody watches wrestling to enjoy wrestling anymore. And the thing is, that's
how
not
we
true.
watch Lucha Underground.
Exactly. That's not true because Lucha Underground is great wrestling. It's just, and my thing is, I think I had a conversation with our boy.
John, I want us over the course of the next week or so. I'm going to say maybe Sunday, since there aren't any pay-per-views on Sunday. We need to put out a commentary talking about what Lucha Underground does right that the WWE actually could be doing. Because I know, obviously, we aren't going to be able to say, well, the WWE needs to bring blood back. Because, they'll do blood with every now and then with their top guys, and they want it to feel special and that kind of thing. And, with the whole PG thing, they're never going to change that, so we can't go there. But there are so much that Lucha Underground does do that the WWE could have been doing for the last, I don't even want to say decade, because that implies that it's limited to only having been done since 2006, as long as they've been around. Lucha Underground is taking the pro wrestling genre and they are evolving it. They are enhancing it. They are taking it to a place that it should have been for decades now, but it's still stuck in the 20s, for God's sakes.
Yeah, and look, this is going to be my final closing note on the subject. Then if you have anything you want to say, you could say, and then we can move on to our formal review.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with our boy, Gordon Maston. Everybody go check that guy out. Wonderful dude. And I had a conversation with him, and I said to him, look, we shouldn't be apologetic when we're critical towards Raw or any of these other brands because we know what we want, and we shouldn't be apologetic about knowing what we want. We should always be reasonable, right? But we should always
and
be
that's
honest
the thing
about what we
too,
want.
John, is we know what we want, and what we want isn't even this overly difficult, oh my God, we need to spend billions of dollars or invest hundreds of hours to get this thing done. It's all really simple stuff. continuity, first and foremost, logic, storylines that actually make sense. I'm looking at you, Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah, we're not
just simple stuff that any television show gets right. And if they don't get it right, fans call them out for it. And when fans call them out for it, typically they don't last more than a season or two.
Exactly.
Shit, man. Alphas was an amazing show, and it got canceled after 2 seasons because of a lack of fan support. I can't even imagine what would happen to the WWE if they didn't have such an amazing late 90s to early 2000s to create a massive fan base and are just kind of running off of that momentum.
Yeah, I completely agree. And the thing is, you can see between that one commenter on our Raw review, who again, I appreciated that insight in my conversation with Gordon, what it comes down to is we finally found a supplier, and that supplier's name is Lucha Underground. That's what it's about.
Yeah, it's so refreshing to turn on a wrestling show, and even if I'm thinking, like, if I feel like I'm being critical, if I feel like I'm like catching them in some kind of a logical loophole or something like that, or if I'm thinking like, oh, well, now this happened, so that means that this should happen next. It always ends up happening. Like, they always make the right decision. And it's not even just me going, they always make the decision I would make. Because tonight even, I said they should give Killshot the win over King Cuerno, but they didn't. And honestly, in hindsight, it works out better because they still had Killshot look incredibly legit against King Cuerno, who is that main event talent. But Cuerno won, which not only keeps Killshot looking strong, but it makes Cuerno look like a beast because no more than 2 weeks ago, he was put through a table from the top of a ladder.
Yeah, exactly. And can I just say this too, because we've been making bringing it back from like Lucha Underground to WWE and like oscillating back and forth. I mean, if this was the Money in the Bank holder, you probably could have given Killshot the win pretty confidently because they treat those holders like crap. But here, gift of the gods. I mean, when he loses, he has to fall from a high place through a freaking table to do it. I'm telling you, man, I love the freaking legitimacy and just all the simple things. You said it yourself. Like, it's not this overly complicated. It's not like quantum physics. This is really simple stuff that you could do if you just had a little bit of caring and just attentiveness. And God, I love this brand so much. My God. But let's just, on that note, I mean, let's get into it, brother. Let's really get into the meat and potatoes, our Lucha Underground review, because we
opened the show up with Vampiro talking to Pentagon Jr. And before we even get into this, guys, you need to check out Lucha Underground's 3rd issue of their comic book because it is so good and so insightful, and it gives you just that little bit of insight that makes this segment with Pentagon and Vampiro that much more insane. Because we saw in the comic, which we will be analyzing on, I'm going to say either Friday or Sunday. I'm not completely sure because our schedules are kind of iffy. But we saw that Vampiro is still around. Like, it's not, Ian Hodgkinson was not exactly fixed, so to say, in that they kind of expelled that Vampiro demon. No, it was Vampiro the whole time. He just knew that he wasn't going to get out of that asylum without acting sane.
Exactly. So it was all a ploy to gain freedom. I mean, to me, another fabulous issue. I can't wait for the analysis.
And even
Friday.
In that issue, I don't want to keep spoiling it, but even in that issue, before he got taken to the asylum, he told Pentagon, listen, man, they're going to take me away. He knew it was going to happen, so he was able to prepare for it.
That foresight, though, unbelievable, man. Yeah,
goddamn Sith Lord. Of course, he has foresight.
And dude, like, that's another thing too. I almost feel like I'm just resuming the conversation we had in our Hand of the Night segment, so I apologize. But that's another thing too with this comic. Like, I even said in my big Lucha Underground like promotion rant that I did on Twitter, Lucha Underground created this comic to fill, like, plot holes that, to be honest, Ashton, I don't think anybody would really say were that big. Like, I don't think you and I would really pay that much mind to. And
no, I agree. I was still, like, my curiosity was so piqued at the idea of knowing what happened in between seasons. Like, there was a lot of implied stuff, like, oh, well, Catrina and this faction of death took over the temple. But that wasn't, I just feel like that's not as satisfying enough answer for me. I'm sure there are people out there that was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Let's see what happens with it. But I want to know how it happened. I want to know where everybody was that let this happen. Like, I want all the gory details. And the comic is so much satiating that desire to see what's going on.
Exactly. And my point being, like, yeah, for a curiosity's sake, certainly the comic's great, but they like fill in plot holes again that not many people would pay much mind. WWE can have freaking craters in their storylines, and they meet it with a kind of apathetic indifference. And
hey guys, we hate Roman Reigns, and we don't want him to win the title, so we're going to put him in a number one contender match.
Exactly. This comic is amazing. So guys,
and even if you want to talk about tonight's episode, you know, Catrina has been doing so much to try to prevent Phoenix from getting to Mil Muertes. But now she put Phoenix in a ladder match against King Cuerno for the Gift of the Gods title. But she didn't just kind of do it because she felt like Phoenix deserved it. She did it because Cuerno confronted her.
Exactly.
They gave Catrina motivation to put him in a match where he has to defend that title. And, I mean, obviously, if he's interested in cashing in on Mil, she could, at this point, I don't know if this is where they're going to go, she could literally just force these guys to defend that title against each other for as long as she wants. And here's the thing, even if Cuerno manages to win next week, he will have been weakened from the match. And I'm guessing that as soon as that match is over, she'll say, okay, well, you decided you wanted to cash in this week, so here's your match.
And also, and I wish I could remember their name, and that's the most horrible thing about me is when I try and give credit to people, but I can never remember the name. Somebody even said, well, the ladder was really big in that last Luchador standing finish. They're probably going to have a ladder match, and here we are having a ladder match.
Yep.
I freaking love it. And whoever said that, thank you. You are freaking amazing. And I'll tell you, though, like,
I'm looking it up right now. I'm going to see if I can find who it was.
Well, while you're doing that, I'll just keep talking because I love this. I love that they give Catrina, who is a heel, motivation to treat another heel, or in this case, again, Rudo, because I really do like to use the more Lucha Libre terms here. You know, another Rudo, crap and grief by putting him back in the ring with Phoenix. And Ashton's absolutely right. Because you need a week to cash in, Catrina will probably consistently use that week to try and get the belt off of them and do like this hot potato until...
It was Cam 1102.
Cam 1102, longtime commenter. So thank you, dude. Great stuff, man. Great stuff. But yeah, until probably a technical, I would think, or maybe a Rudo, Lucha Underground really doesn't care about that kind of stuff, successfully is able to retain, within that week waiting time, Mil will probably not have to defend the championship. You and I have been saying Aztec Warfare, but here's the thing, Ashton, with Catrina in control, who are we to say that that's even going to happen? Why would Catrina have that kind of risk unless Mil Muertes had the advantage, which he did last time?
And alternatively, unless Mil suggested it.
Exactly.
Like, like I've had all these challengers, let me take care of them all in one match.
Exactly. So I don't know, but I love it. I just love it. And again, like, bringing it all back, because I know we were talking about the opening cinematic, Pentagon and Vampiro. Vampiro, from what I gathered, just telling Pentagon, there's still work to do, that, because of what he did, Vampiro was allowed to, be freed from Ian and this and that. And so you can tell, like, they're still on the same page. They're still working together, and I just love the relationship, and I'm loving Pentagon. I mean, here was a guy, again, you want to talk about growth, a guy in the first season that on our rewatch, we actually kind of painted this portrait of a sympathetic guy just needing a friend, and now he's the most badass guy on this freaking roster. Just absolutely amazing to me, bro.
All right, so now we have to actually talk about what Vampiro and Pentagon said, because apparently, and again, I wasn't able to watch this. I don't know, John, how much you caught of it, because
barely, yeah.
Sling was acting up again tonight. Vampiro explained that Ian is being forced to confront Vampiro, and that Pentagon should not let anything get in his way, not even Catrina.
And see, that makes sense then, because like Ashton, guys, I had trouble extrapolating exactly what was said in the cinematic, but see, they built on top of everything. I fucking love it, man, because he says not even Catrina, and then what we got later in the night, Ashton, which we will get to, it all ties together.
It was a near immediate payoff, because they created this little thread and they put a nice little knot on it later on in the night. And I mean, obviously, them putting the knot on this thread created one much larger thread, but we'll talk about that later.
How beautiful is that?
How
beautiful is that?
It's pretty beautiful.
How do we, like, I don't even know, like, how you return to life after an experience like this.
I don't understand why it took this long for somebody to decide to make wrestling in, like, through the view of an actual television show. Like, how did it take this long for that to be a thing?
But you
I
know
guess
what?
I'm just salty that Lucha Underground hasn't been around for my entire life, so that I could just have been ranting and raving about how amazing it is for 25 years rather than just 2.
Yeah, I'm envious that I never even got to watch Lucha Underground, like, from the beginning. And by the beginning, I literally mean, like, while in the womb. Like, you know, just hook me up with that stuff. And you know what, though? I think the only beauty, Ashton, about us having to wait this long is that we were just so ready when it finally came around for it.
It made us hungrier for something like this because, you know, WWE has just been so bad for a few years now, for so long. I can't even just say a few years because that feels like it's undercutting how long it's been bad. But it's just been, you know, such a struggle being a wrestling fan because easily the most accessible wrestling show in the world is WWE. So, of course, we're going to watch that every week, even if it's not good, because when it gets good, like, I don't know, July of 2011 or so, it's freaking amazing, but it never lasts very long because WWE is amazing at catching lightning in a bottle, but they might be the worst promotion on the planet at keeping that lightning hot.
Exactly. And you know what? I think you said something very poignant there. That's one of Lucha Underground's greatest strengths. They don't do, like, these moments just to pop people or to pop numbers or whatever.
Right.
There's always a deliberation. There's always a purpose.
Even too, even if you want to say, like, oh, they did those Angelico spots from the top of Cueto's office just for a quick cheap pop. But even then, there is so much story going into that because he did that not only to as like a desperation move to try and to win and then retain the trio's titles, but also to earn the trust of his teammates who didn't trust him because they were a thrown together team that hated each other.
Exactly. I was even going to bring up, Ashton, that especially the first time he did it, that was an act of loyalty and unity with the team.
That was like the ultimate, like, listen, guys, I know we don't get along, but let's frickin' do this.
Exactly. God, I love this show.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say about this opening cinematic?
Or I mean, even if you want to say, like, oh, Pentagon putting Vampiro through a flaming table, that's so Bush League, that's so CZW. Until you realize that their entire characters have been built up to that moment. And that even since that moment, their characters are still being built up using that moment as almost like a foundation to continue building.
Exactly, especially considering that as part of the build-up, Pentagon threatened to set Vampiro on fire anyway.
Exactly, yeah. It's so layered that someone as superficial as Jim Cornette saying that they do this kind of stuff just to, just to kind of pop the crowds and just to trying to get a reaction, and it's shock for the sake of shock and that kind of stuff. Go screw yourself, man, because if you're not going to even watch the show, if you're not going to even realize that this stuff doesn't just happen for the hell of it and that it happens with, storyline to back it up, why are you even giving how obnoxious are people that state really strong opinions on a subject that they have literally no education in?
Exactly. I couldn't have said it any better. Do you have anything you want to add to the Pentagon Vampiro opening cinematic?
This is going to be one of our longest Lucha Underground TWitWows ever because we are already almost 25 minutes in and we've only talked about the first segment.
Yeah, which was fantastic.
And there were four matches tonight rather than just 3. So another big props to Lucha Underground for changing up the format a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
As far as matches go, though, we start out with Jack Evans versus PJ Black, which I didn't get to see the whole thing, but of what I saw, there was a high-flying kick fest, and it was a lot of fun.
Jack Evans at one point does what looked like to me. Now, people
a springboard Trouble in Paradise.
Yeah, more or less. Like, holy shit. Like, what? What do you people eat?
The one thing that I definitely did see, though, was when Drago was at the top of the building that Phoenix got powerbombed through, and he had a crazy, like, new mask helmet thing on that made him look like a demon. Man, that was sick.
Dude, Drago definitely earned even more respect points from the two of us for the promo he cut on El Rey's
Evans.
YouTube channel.
Oh,
yeah, on Jack Evans on the YouTube channel. I can't even speak right now. This was so good tonight. And so passionate and, like, everything. Drago is, to me, like, one of those foundational characters of Lucha Underground. A guy that may never be, like, in that main event or hold the world title, but I think he's so central to certain guys, like, being elevated and stuff like that, you know, like, he just seems like an integral part of the temple to me. And yeah, I really appreciated the distraction. PJ Black capitalized. I honestly don't even know what...
I'm actually reading here, apparently we missed it, because it says here that Drago went to give the mist to Jack Evans, but Evans got out of the way and he caught Black instead, and Evans ended up winning because of that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, because, guys, again, Sling TV sucked so bad for us tonight. I thought from my hiccups, and I think you did too, Ashton, that PJ Black capitalized on Jack Evans being distracted.
Yeah, I did. I thought so too, but apparently there was a missed spot and we missed it.
But see, Ashton, this makes even more sense, though, than how it originally went down, because we know from the trailer, and this isn't spoilers because you guys saw our trailer, live reactions and everything, PJ Black and Jack Evans joined forces at one point, and they gang up on Drago. This is now the tie that binds them together.
Yeah,
because now
Drago now screwed both of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for Jack Evans fans, 2-0, baby! Like, holy shit.
But, of course, for PJ Black fans, 0-2.
Hey, he'll get his shine, man. I'm hoping there's some kind of payoff. They find a third man. Those trios championships would look mighty fine with those three.
Angelico seems like he's determined to. It seems like he's determined to stick with the Havoc trio.
You know, if they lose their return match, Angelico just needs to beat the crap out of Son of Havoc and then join ranks with those guys and then make another run at it.
Would be legendary.
Like your face.
I mean, we already got like a little hint of the feud, but still, like, oh my god,
do it. But yeah, this is amazing. And you know what? I really wish we could have seen that play out, but from a narrative perspective, that's perfect. That's absolutely. But then again, what else is new, right? It's just another day that ends in Y.
And it's funny too, because like when I read that, I was like, oh, it sucks that PJ lost again. But now you're bringing it up. Like, yeah, now they both have a bone to pick with Drago, so it makes all the sense in the world. It's perfect.
Exactly. You know, and again, I don't know if you and I said this on a TWitWoW or in personal conversation, which I actually told Gordon, like, I get that mixed up a lot. But you and I were really taking BG James, Road Dogg to task on Twitter, because he's like one of the agents and everything. He's like, oh, wins and losses, don't matter, this and that. Yeah, they don't have to matter.
No, that's the thing, too. Like, with wins and losses, in the WWE right now, I think they do matter, because wins, and that's the thing, that's the casual audience. The casual audience will latch onto somebody who wins a lot. That's why Roman Reigns is so beloved by super casual fans and hated by everybody else, because he wins a lot. It's the same thing with John Cena. I don't know if you've heard this, but apparently when John Cena ate that loss to Brock Lesnar, his merch sales dropped by like a noticeable percentage. And then he destroyed the Wyatt family the next night just for the sake of getting his merch sales back up. Like, he preaches never giving up, and yet as soon as he loses a match, his fans give up on him. What does that say?
Exactly. And my thing is, dude, like, the big point I wanted to make, yes, wins and losses don't necessarily have to matter, but you need strong storytelling to back that up.
Exactly. That's the problem with the WWE, and they're right. Brian James is absolutely correct. Wins and losses, normally in well-written wrestling promotions, wins and losses do not matter. The WWE does not fall under that umbrella, though. Lucha Underground does.
Exactly, because if you're a PJ Black fan, I guarantee you care far less about the fact that he's 0-2 because of the fact that he's got a story laid in front of him, teaming up with Jack Evans. And
he's got something to do now.
He has a narrative.
Which is more than I can say about 75% of WWE's roster.
Exactly. So let this be a lesson to Brian James. You're right, but your company doesn't bear the torch, okay? Lucha Underground does, because when you have a strong story, a guy can lose or win or whatever, but as long as he's kept in the loop, kept in the fold and has something to do, that's all that matters at the end of the day, and that's where PJ Black is, and for his fans, it's got to be a great freaking feeling.
Yeah,
so.
And having something to do isn't defined by randomly feuding with the Big Show, Ryback, and Kane.
Exactly. The fuck. Alright, anything else you want to say about this?
Apologies for letting the WWE salt spill over into our Lucha Underground review, but when the show is this good, we have to say something.
Well, no, I don't even think, dude, that it's salt. I just think
no,
it's making
on my end, it is salt.
And that's fair enough.
Because
but I think,
when I look at the WWE, I see so much potential, and they could do so much more.
I know.
And they're just squandering, they are squandering so many careers. Like, the fact that Barrett is leaving now because of the fact that he never got anything to work with. And when he did finally get something that worked, they took it away from him.
They took it away from him.
It's just so stupid.
You know what? And I normally don't make plays like that. I hope Barrett ends up in Lucha Underground because I know they can do something.
I was thinking that too. Like, I honestly, from what I've heard, he's going to go into. He wants to be a commentator for soccer.
Okay.
For English football.
Right.
But if he stays in the wrestling business, I want him in Lucha Underground so bad because he kind of has a look that fits with the Temple.
He does, and you know
what?
And
he would be a freaking giant in the Temple too, because he's legit like 6'7".
And dude, honestly, to me, because you and I said he would have fit this role perfectly for the Authority. If Dario Cueto comes back to make a power bit and he would win, Barrett could be his higher gun.
Rick with Barrett, yes.
Exactly. And I guarantee you, he'd be in the thick of things. He'd matter. And I feel so bad for that man because he gave it an honest try. Yes, he had his injuries, but he put his back into the bad news gimmick. It got freaking over, and you took it away from him. And again, I go back to another thing I said in my Lucha Underground rant. Lucha Underground cares about every talent. And if you want proof of that, we're going to talk about a segment later.
Right now, actually.
Excellent.
Famous B, yeah.
Excellent. I was hoping it was right now because I love our transitions. Famous B gets a cinematic vignette tonight. He is getting rebooted, restarted, and back in the fold. This is fucking wrestling right here. I love that this guy's getting a shot. I couldn't gather everything from this segment, actually. I don't think you could either, but it seemed like he had like a used car salesman vibe kind of going on, yeah. And I guess he promised people that he could help get them famous or what?
Dude,
Did you know what was going on? It's so funny
because this honestly reminded me of like a parody of Ryback, because Ryback has cut those promos where he talks about how he read this book about how, you got to eat the negatives, put them in the pit of your stomach, turn them into positives and that kind of thing. This felt like a parody of that. This felt like a life coach trying to help people get famous and be positive and be like good people and all that kind of stuff. And I think used car salesman, not only is that probably a more literal interpretation of what this was actually meant to be, which I obviously wasn't able to see because of Sling.
Right.
But I think that's a perfect sort of a description from a metaphorical place to describe what he's doing here too, because those people that sell those life kind of fixer-upper books and stuff like that, like those feel like used car salesmen to me too.
I love that he's getting a shot, dude. And my thing is
great too is it that we wanted to give him a push in our Luchador Spotlight series. Like, we both came up with ideas for him. Yeah. And now he's getting something. Now, granted, it's nothing like what we came up with, but, I mean, it's Lucha Underground, and they know what they're doing, so obviously it'll be better.
I ain't gonna quit. Yeah, I'm just like, this isn't what we wanted. Yeah, you're right. It's better. You're right. It's like...
Oh, this isn't what we wanted, you guys. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you writing this show? No? Do you like this show? Yeah? Well, how do you even know that you like your ideas then? I guess we don't. So whose ideas do you like? Yours?
Let's sit the fuck down. So do you? I have a question for you though, because you said this is going to be our longest Lucha Underground review ever, and you know what? At this point, I'm like, fuck it, let's just enjoy it for all it's worth.
Yeah.
What do you think of this, man? Do you think he's going to be a manager? Do you think he's still going to be in the ring?
Dude, I think you should get him a manager. Let him come out by himself, be the main act. I want this to be a big deal. Maybe even give him a valet. I don't know.
Yeah, like, because it's weird, right? Because the vibe he gives off with the phone number and everything.
I want him to come out. I want him to come out with a woman on each arm just to kind of portray that excellence.
Yeah, man, live that up. And it's so weird because he like gives the phone number and the presentation stuff, and you think, well, is he looking for clientele? Is he building a trio? Maybe, like, I don't know. It'd be cool if he could kind of do both, because we don't really see that, a guy that's both a wrestler and kind of a manager of another talent.
You know, it's funny because the more I think about it, this almost feels like a parody of The Rock, because Rock always talks about, I woke up at 2:30 this morning. No, you know what? I woke up at midnight. I didn't even sleep last night. And I went to the gym, clanging and banging and clanging and banging. Ate 12 raw eggs for breakfast this morning. And then I went onto the set. And I was on set for 32 hours straight. And then I came here because, you know what? I love this place and I have the extra time. So why not? And now I'm not even going to go to bed. I'm going to get in a car and I'm going to drive 825 miles. That's 17 hours straight to my next shoot. You know, like just this constant talking yourself up, talking about how you're this amazing person who can do anything. That's what this feels like to me. It's like a parody of that, and I love it.
I love it too. I love too, and again, like,
and that's why I want him to come out with like women hanging off of him and having like this, maybe give him like a you know, like a really upbeat, like almost like a Bo Dallas like theme song. And just completely ham it up, and I love it. And obviously they're not going to take all of my ideas because they already have something planned and they already have this filmed. But if he has any kind of just really over the top hammy elements like that, I am going to be so all in on it. I'm going to love it.
Dude, I just love the fact that here was a guy in the first season that was a jobber, and he did use the term jobber. I picked him up.
I saw that. Yeah, I did see that in the vignette. The word jobber did come across. He said, you know, you're not going to be a jobber anymore or something like that. I'm going to take you from being a jobber to, and then of course the stream cut out.
I think he said robber actually for me.
Oh Jesus, that's amazing.
But yeah, like here was a guy in the first season, lost his matches, got his arm broken by Pentagon, had a really great showing in that Aztec Medallion Battle Royal where Phoenix regained the medallion that he only lost because he got powerbombed through a building. And Lucha, they never took his eyes off him. They're like, okay, you paid your dues here, you did your time in this kind of thing, now we're giving you something, let's see what you can do with it. And I freaking love that shit, man. Like,
up next,
so
Vinny Massaro.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I'm hoping Vinny's next, man. I hope they give him something, and then I hope they give El Mariachi Loco, and for no other reason, so poor PW Gregory can heal.
Even if they don't even give El Mariachi Loco anything else, just have him win a match so we get to hear his song so that PW Gregory can be satisfied.
I am so sad for that, man. It's okay, Gregory, you'll heal. But it's just, man, and like all kidding aside, we know that's possible.
I think Gregory's his last name, by the way. I think his first name's Paul.
Yeah, I agree. Paul is, I'm referencing my last name, my apologies, but yeah, you'll heal, hopefully. But in all seriousness, like, I love that Famous B getting this cinematic proves that it is possible for Vinny and these other guys to get something. That just shows keep your eye on everybody, pay attention to everything, because you never know what's going to happen. And I'll tell you, even though this is one of the more minor plot threads of the season, this is one I'm already the most interested in, because I just want to know what Famous B is going to do. I see something in this guy. I think he's really going to do something good. So I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely. Up next, we had King Cuerno versus Killshot. This is the second time already this season that we're seeing Killshot. And he is, he hasn't won a match yet, but he is looking strong in every match. This is how you build a babyface right here. This is basically Sami Zayn booking. Like, he's not winning his matches all the time, but he is looking so good in his matches, putting on fun matches to watch, and, just really taking main event talents to the limit, because his two matches that he's had so far were against Mundo and Cuerno, and those are two established main event level guys.
Right. And dude, like, my thing is, you've seen him look really great in ring, and I'm just wondering what the moment's going to be when it comes that facilitates the cinematics that we know he gets from the trailer. And
I'm going to tell you right now,
Killshot's
I
in the-
genuinely hope that they do not decide to go heel with him, because I think a babyface Killshot is good for this business right now.
I think, considering what's happened with the Temple, they need a guy like him to be a Technico. Because to me, with the way they're building him up and how amazing those cinematics looked, he could be that anti-hero that the Temple needs. Because to me, Pentagon's that chaotic neutral, Puma's that kind of like pure guy.
Also good.
Yeah, lawful good. And Killshot, he can be good in his own way, but in a way that kind of questions those ethical boundaries. So kind of like a merger between Pentagon and Puma to me. I feel like Killshot can fill that role. And
chaotic good or lawful
chaotic good would be, if that's a descriptor for it. Yeah, chaotic good to me would be Killshot personally.
It could be either chaotic good or lawful neutral. I don't know what you're going for.
I'm thinking chaotic good.
Chaotic good is like V for Vendetta.
Yeah, that's kind of how I see
lawful neutral
Killshot.
Would be like Captain Picard.
I'm thinking chaotic good was more what I was envisioning for Killshot personally. Great match.
Maybe even neutral good, because that's more like Han Solo. That kind of almost makes sense.
Yeah, that does work. Yeah. I think just something that challenges the power structure of the Death Temple.
Yeah.
You know, but in a way, again, that isn't as pure as a Puma, but not necessarily as stark raving mad as Pentagon. You know, just that sweet spot, you know, for Killshot. So I guess it all works out. Yeah. Fun match, really fun match. I love watching these two guys work. King Cuerno, for the love of God, can this guy's form be any more perfect with the way he executes? I know Bret Hart personally said that Randy Orton was like his modern day excellence of execution. I'm thinking King Cuerno is the Lucha Underground equivalent of that. This guy is so fucking good. Yeah, so amazing back and forth. I thought Killshot was going to win at one point after he tried going for the double stomp, but he missed. And then a short while after, King Cuerno got the throw of the hunt for the 3 count. He tried going for the pile driver after the fact, but Phoenix came out, chasing Cuerno away, and Cuerno kind of does his throat slit with the Gift of the Gods Championship in tow. So these two guys, they still have beef. So Asher, what do you think of this match, brother?
Yeah, I mean, what I was able to see of this match, it was really intense. I saw a pretty brutal super kick. I know at one point, I don't remember who threw it because their masks are so similar and their whole attire is really similar, so I couldn't catch it because my stream was so bad, but I absolutely, and obviously this is a little bit inside baseball, but I think most of the people that listen to this podcast are aware of it anyway. I love how they add that little bit of an extra sound effect in post-production and make kicks sound that much more brutal.
Yeah, dude. And to me, I don't know.
Because that's the thing, like, you don't even need to ask. I mean, it helps for the actual reaction in the temple, but you don't even need your guys to do the old leg slap on super kicks at this point because you can just add it in post.
Exactly. That's the beauty of modern technology, right? I gotta say too, dude, just in my own opinion, I don't know if Lucha Underground will do this, and again, as we've already discussed, whatever they do, it'll be a million times better than whatever we come up with anyway. But I'm really hoping that this whole King Cuerno Killshot thing, this is a feud that goes like pillar to post. I'm actually thinking we could build up a cool moment where Killshot finally beats King Cuerno, and it really means something, because he's been like that guy that Killshot's had an interest in, but he's 0-2 against. I think that's the making of a very interesting story to me. And King Cuerno doesn't even have to have the Gift of the Gods title to make it compelling. And don't get me wrong, I'm preaching to the choir here. Lucha Underground already knows that. So I'm hoping that this really is a feud that we see for quite some time, because I'm enjoying when these two interact. And I think there could be a really great story to tell here. So that's probably the biggest compliment I can give to this match, is I want to see more of these two together. So there you go.
Yeah. All right. So up next, after the Cuerno Killshot match, we went right into another match because I think there was a commercial break in between, and then we got Texano versus Chavo and the Crew, and it was a gauntlet match.
What did you think of the gauntlet format, dude?
I love it, because here's the thing. I do sort of wish, for the sake of just logic, because it's Catrina, that she would have set it up as a 3-on-1 tornado match where you didn't have to tag in and out, and it was just 3-on-1 and they could beat him down. But, I almost also feel like she holds a little bit of a grudge against Chavo because of last season, because of Chavo, stealing stealing Blue Demon's sort of sacrifice from Mill. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because if you remember, I think it was episode 2. It was 2, where the main event was Mill versus Blue Demon, and the match closed with Chavo attacking Blue Demon and doing the chair shot, and then of course the sexy star thing happened. But then on the following week, Catrina told Chavo that Blue Demon was supposed to be Mill's sacrifice, and that Mill would have his revenge on Chavo now too. And I do remember there being a match between Mill and Chavo where Chavo tried to use a chair on Mill, and Mill literally just punched the chair right out of his hands and then killed him. So they're technically even, I guess, for now. But you also have to have that feeling of maybe Catrina still resents him a little bit for that, and that's why she made this a little bit more fair than it normally would have been.
I mean, that's an excellent point, dude. To me, you can even simplify it further than that. Though, again, like, I love that you brought all that to the forefront, because I'm sure Lucha Underground had that in mind. To me, it comes down to Chavo and the crew. They were always Dario Cueto guys. They were never Catrina.
That's another
people.
one. Yeah, that's a great point. So now, it's almost, this, on its surface, this feels like punishment for Texano. But you almost have to wonder if this was meant to be punishment for the crew. Because if she wanted to punish Texano, she could have just as easily made this a 3-on-1 match without tags, with no rules.
Exactly.
But she made it this gauntlet style match because I think she wanted Texano to punish each one of these guys individually. I think that was the plan the whole time.
I completely agree. I think she looked at the crew and she said, "You ran with Dario Cueto. I don't owe you shit.
Yep.
So good luck with that." And you know what?
That's another thing I love about our discussions on here too, is that I came into this thinking that I would be kind of weary about it, but I'm leaving the discussion about this segment appreciating it even more, because now, it makes perfect sense that she would want to punish the crew.
Right. And you know what, though? If that is the case, we have to say this is a rare instance where Catrina, and God, I hope she doesn't suck my soul out for this, was unsuccessful, because the crew actually won this match. Texano makes quick work of Mr. Cisco, and then him and Cortez Castro have a nice back and forth, but he ultimately falls after Texano sit-out powerbomb. And then him and Chavo go at it. It seems like he's going to make short work of Chavo, but then Mr. Cisco is distracting the referee on the apron while Cortez Castro trips up Texano and then ties his feet with the bull rope while Chavo's got the pin, so there's all that leverage, and so Texano gets pinned. An ingenious way to get the win, and we've got to remember, guys, and I'm going to keep bringing this up in our reviews so that we all stay up to speed, Cortez Castro's undercover. And, to me, I like this because it shows he's going to have to do things that he doesn't like to keep his cover. And you could even see, because Ashton, one thing that I didn't want to forget that you brilliantly pointed out in live reactions, I'm glad that your eye caught that. When Cisco got eliminated, Chavo was actually kicking him and physically punishing him. And then Castro gets eliminated, and I think Chavo was probably, trash talking him or whatever. As soon as they help Chavo get the win, everything's gravy, right? Like I even said in live reactions, winning cures everything, and he's treating them all good. Cortez Castro shoots Chavo this look. Like he just hated what he had to do.
Yep.
So I think that's just a small little reminder of, hey guys, I'm really the good guy here. Please don't hate me. I'm doing what I have to do.
And the crazy
even if
thing,
I don't want to take my medicine, I have to take it.
Yeah, the crazy thing there, though, is the temple doesn't know that.
Exactly. I love it. We know it, but because it's the temple and they don't get to see these cinematics because it's all, post-production and stuff, they don't get that side of the coin. And to me, I think it just enriches the story for us because we have a 360-degree view, if you will. And knowing that, I look at Cortez Castro and I feel bad for him. Because, it's got to be hard. And really, dude, with how crazy this temple is, who's to even say Cortez Castro is going to get out alive? Because he either has to worry about the crew, or he has to worry about Catrina Mill, or he has to worry about something else entirely. Maybe Matunda, maybe something else. There is danger lurking in every corner. I think another tweet I said about Lucha Underground, what I love about the show is the worst thing that can happen to somebody isn't even losing a championship or a big-time match. It's losing your life. And that's certainly what Cortez Castro is facing. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Whew, man. All right, let's move on. Up next, we had the big Cueto and Black Lotus segment. We were, I don't know about you, John, but personally, I was still experiencing some sling issues during this.
Me as
so
well.
I wasn't able to hear everything that was said, but apparently, if you listened close enough, you could hear Matanza brutally devastating someone inside the building.
Yeah,
So I'm looking forward to being able to go back and hear that. And then apparently we already knew that Dario was telling a story to Black Lotus about his mother, and apparently the rest of the story was that Matanza saved them from their mother and did so by killing her with the Red Bull that Cueto carries around with him.
Wow.
He said that it was a happy memory and that he learned how much he loved violence on that day.
Holy shit. Oh my god. And like I love the body language that goes on here too, because maybe I'm looking too much into things.
Not even just body language, but both of these characters, we saw facial expressions from both of them that we've never seen from either one of them before. Black Lotus had sympathy on her face, and Cueto had pain in his face, and we've never seen those emotions from either one of those characters.
I gotta ask you something, because maybe I'm just imposing it on the situation, and again, I had hiccups like you, so maybe you couldn't even answer me definitively. Did Cueto even have tears in his eye? I felt like he was crying.
I didn't catch that. I don't think he did, but if he would have, it would have been perfectly characteristic of him to do so.
Yeah, because he was recalling a really painful memory. Like, I wouldn't have even called him out for it if that was the case. Because,
well, no, I don't know why you would say that, though. He was recalling a good memory because he said that was his first happy memory.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I guess how I should phrase it is, it's like, it's sad what happened to him, so I guess I couldn't fault him for that context. And then in the other context, because it is a happy memory, like, tears of joy, right? So, either way, it works out. But it's such a fascinating scene. I can't wait to go back with you and watch this episode again because of the hiccups we had the first time around with goddamn Sling TV. But this is a very revelatory kind of cinematic to me, because we got to know more about the Cuetos, who I think are the most fascinating family in professional wrestling right now, because what the actual fuck. But the body count of Matanza grows, and I think everybody in the temple should just be grateful that Matanza is, I think if I'm not mistaken, 25 or 75 miles away from it. Just
375,
great. 375, yeah, be grateful for that distance, because you're next. You're all next, and I don't even know how anybody's going to defend themselves against that monstrosity. So, great cinematic, one that I really can't wait to watch again, so we fill in the gaps. But we know, man, there is some dark shit in the Cueto family history. So that's all I got to say for right now.
Yeah, there definitely is. This family is messed up. Like, what I love too about Lucha Underground is that anytime you have these like true blue heels characters that you just really hate, you get shit like this where you find out like, no wonder these guys are assholes. If I was raised in the exact same situation as them, I would be an asshole too.
Like, that's what I love. Lucha Underground is not only like that television show kind of format, you know, like you said, evolving pro wrestling, this and that, but I think it's also grounded, and I can't believe I'm saying this, with characters that are like fucking time travelers and shit, but it's also grounded, you know, in human nature. There's always nuance to everything. You know, there is no wholly evil or like wholly good person. There's always nuance. And with Cueto, it's the same way. Yeah, he's done some scumbag shit, but can you blame the guy when he says that shit like this is a happy memory? Yeah. I hate to see what his definition of bad is. And think about the converse. If this is a happy memory, what the fuck is a bad memory to this guy? Like, holy shit, dude.
Well, I would imagine the bad memories are from before Matanza killed their mother.
Yeah.
When their mother used to, you know, I mean, he said that their mother was just awful to them. That it was an abusive relationship. Like, their mother abused them.
And let's remember Black Lotus, no wonder she was sympathetic, because her parents were murdered. So, like, Cueto had a shitty
You know what, though? I will say, I do think it was Matanza that killed them. I don't think it was El Dragon Azteca. I think Cueto just said that to save his own ass.
I do agree, but who's to say, right? Because
I mean, we already know now at this point that Matanza has a history of killing people, and you know, it would not be a surprise to anyone. And even if you want to say, well, you know, Matanza Cueto didn't kill your mother, there was the ancient Aztec god possessing his body that did the killing, but it was still Matanza's body that did it.
Right. Because to me, actually, it comes down to Matanza did it under control of the god, obviously, or that other theory we talked about, I believe, just last Lucha Underground TWitWoW, or maybe the second one before last. It was El Dragon Azteca, but Black Lotus's parents were a lot shadier than we realized, because we really don't know much about them either. Yeah. So to me, it's one or the other. Yep. But this is a great cinematic, and let's move on.
Okay, up next, we actually had our main event. Or no, actually, you know what? I take that back. Up next, we had our Pentagon Jr. Catrina segment.
Normally, I'd be like, you tease, but this is amazing anyway, so
yeah, Pentagon, Catrina's walking, in the back. I think she might have even been looking for someone, but Pentagon stops her. He's in, a training ring. And he stops her and tells her that he wants another match against Prince Puma, that he tried to embarrass him. She's reluctant, but Pentagon attacks her. Tries to break her arm, but she can teleport, as has been established. And then she tells him that he'd get his match next week, but that putting his hands on her was the worst mistake he'd ever made. That is the most horrifying statement anyone has made in the history of this show.
Yeah, I thought you were going to be like the history of ever, and I wasn't even going to dispute that either. But yeah, you're certainly right.
I mean, statement-wise, maybe. Yeah, it might be.
Dude, she kept that straight face the entire time. Like, I'm just like, oh, like,
those damn bangs, John. I've never seen more intimidating bangs in my life. Maybe dude. Angelica from the frickin' Rugrats, but still.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, because like, if she would have said that to me, I would have just been like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Like, I just would have been seeing my life. And I would have been like, errors have been made. Like, I have never thought that I would have to fear for Pentagon, but yet here we are. I do. Because now you're on bullshit lists. Puma ain't gonna help you. Katrina ain't gonna help you. You better hope that your maestro, your master, Vampiro, has your back, and you guys can have a plan, because now you're being shot at from both sides. That is an unwinnable war, my friend. And I say this with all the love in the world for Pentagon. And again, I even said on live reactions, I commend him for waging this war. I just don't know how you're gonna win it now, because you've got friends nowhere. Nowhere. So, great stuff. I love that they are willing, like, Katrina is so powerful and so legitimate that they're willing to have a segment like this where she is kind of having this this exchange with Pentagon. He's going to break her arm, and yet she teleports out of it. So again, that raises the question, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
How old are you? Because we had one of our followers on Twitter, like, first point out the portrait, then we looked it up, and then you made the image pointing it to everybody. How old is Katrina?
Yeah.
So, like, who are you? Who is this woman? Like, and
well, I don't even want to call her a woman at this point. What is she is a bigger question for me.
I mean, here's the thing, dude. Like, and I don't know if you brought this up already. I think you might have, or whatever. But it is the woman that is Katrina. Like, is this just an innocent woman possessed by something far more malevolent? Like, I don't freaking know. It's just freaking insane to me, man. Ah, God, this segment was so good. And yeah, we know he's going to get Puma next week. And
but at what cost?
That's the question. Like, at what cost? Like, oh, great, I get my match. Now I get atone for my fluky victory. Yeah, that's great, Pentagon. Yeah, you just might, get your face, ripped off in the process or whatever. You might just die or ganged up on or whatever. But yeah, you get your win back, Yeah, good on you. Like, what? What am I supposed to say to that? I don't know, man. I'm just already looking forward to next. I look forward to every week of Lucha Underground. Who the fuck am I kidding? Like, they don't even need to do anything. I just sit here patiently waiting for Wednesday after each episode ends. I'm like, well, is it Wednesday yet? And, there you go. Great stuff.
Yeah. We need our Wednesdays because we need to unwind from Mondays.
Exactly. All right.
So I guess up next we can talk about your match, John. We can talk about Cage versus Johnny Mundo.
You know what I love, Ashton?
What do you love, John?
I love being right. I was saying to people, Cage got the beatdowns, yes, but he's a Neanderthal. He can't do anything. He doesn't win when it matters. Oh no, John. He's gonna destroy Slamtown. Mundo can't. I hear it all the time from you saying Mundo can't do it, this and that, and yet time and time again, I just keep having to pass you the ketchup bottle down the table because I'm courteous enough to know how best to get Crow down the throat.
I've heard that Crow is actually best with melted butter.
Is that right? I'm going to have to pick up some because at this rate, I'm going to be doling out a lot of portions of exactly that this season. But in all seriousness, I mean, we'll get to...
Oh my god.
We'll get to me losing my shit in a second, trust me. But in all sincerity, and again, like, just serious portion of the review, Cage is an incredible fucking athlete. Like, I said it so many times in live reactions.
Innovative.
And that's what you said in live reactions. I said incredible athlete, you said innovative, and they both hold up. This guy is incredible. And I've been having a lot of fun at his expense on Twitter, which kudos to him for, like, being so cool about it and, like, having fun right back. I mean, that's how you know you're just really loving the business and loving what you're doing. But in all sincerity, I respect the guy's work immensely. Anybody that looks like he does and pulls the shit off that he does, freak of nature in the best possible way. Because I think, and this is just my opinion, I think you look at a guy like Cage Ashton and you probably think, oh, he's probably got 5 moves, power slam, military press, whatever. And yet you see the stuff that this guy pulls off and you're like, wow, like, holy shit. Incredible athlete. And again, to your point, innovative, just so good.
Yeah.
Great back and forth match. I love that, some of the heel tactics from Mundo, because I know at some point, like, he was wrapping his body, like, around the ropes. Another point, like, he was on, I believe, like, the top rope, him and, like, Cage were kind of struggling, but then Mundo gets, like, a kick to Cage's head, and then he sweeps the leg, and then he goes from one rope to the other rope for, like, a corkscrew kind of body press, which looked beautiful, and, just a great back and forth. Then it happens, because then we get the pivotal moment of the match. Johnny Mundo goes for end of the world. He misses, eats nothing but canvas. And if you strain your ear hard enough, you could actually hear the exact moment that my heart cracked in two, because I thought I was going to have to concede defeat, because then Cage hits Weapon X, and I'm thinking, fuck. But then, this most beauteous angel arrived to save the day, this wonderful, magnificent vision known as Taya Valkyrie. Comes in, slides a pipe into the ring like the genius that she's already proven herself to be, distracts the referee. Cage is just like, hey, what's going on? Mundo's got the pipe. He cracks Cage right in the skull, gets the 3 count. Johnny Mundo wins. I'm gonna say that again. Johnny Mundo wins. And, God, I love the ring to that. Like, just so good. And then...
Dude, you've been getting to say that more in Lucha Underground than you've ever been able to say it.
I know, right? Which is why I said don't you love the ring to that? Doesn't that sound so good? And you know what'll sound even better? Now, follow me on this one. Johnny Mundo, Lucha Underground champion. Yes. It just rolls off. Oh, God, the flavor. And they beat the shit out of Cage after the match. And I'm just thinking, well, I told you to have your warranty on it. I told him twice. Have your warranty on it. I was the compassionate one here. Me, the same guy that laughed at Mufasa getting trampeded by, like, a stampede. Me! I'm like, look, I know what's going to happen to you. We've been here before. Johnny Scumbag knows. Have your warranty. And yet, I had to hear people, oh, no, he's the machine. Machines rust, people. Machines break down. I had a Windows Vista. I know how machines break down. I know how they suck. And really, Cage, at the very end, when it counted, he performed like a Windows Vista. He has nobody to blame but himself.
Yikes.
Ashton's like, wow, savage right now.
Yeah, John's really going deep with these Windows Vista comparisons. Jesus.
I look and
no concern for human life.
And him and Mundo and Taya Valkyrie are an amazing pairing. I love them already. And you know what? I'm gonna say it. Because I'm in such a good mood, and I think this is gonna go down as one of our best Lucha Underground TWitWows ever. She did more for Johnny Mundo in one night than Molina has done for him in his entire career. Like, I love it, dude. And that's not even meant to be like, oh, look at John, being all edgy, like calling him. No, like,
that's seriously. Not even an edgy opinion, though. Nobody likes Molina. Not even the producers of Lucha Underground sent her home because she's difficult to work with. And then she raged out on Twitter trying to deny it.
Dude, to me...
She's not a likable person.
But even if she was, right, and we're talking from a pure, like, booking, like, all that standpoint, Taya Valkyrie to me is still better than every way because, first of all, Johnny Mundo, he even has his own brand, Out of Your Mind Fitness. He cares about fitness. He's very health conscious. Look at Taya Valkyrie.
She's ripped.
Her arms are bigger than my fucking head. Like, holy shit. So she's really fit. So that fits, like, his whole vibe. Second of all, they just look good together. I'm sorry. Like, I know that sounds like a really superficial analysis, and I don't even mean it in that way. She just seems like somebody that should be running with Johnny Mundo. He's very egotistical. He would only hang out with the best. And that's the kind of thing, that's the kind of presence that Taya Valkyrie exudes. I can't wait to hear her talk. I can't wait to see her manage, and I have such confidence in this team. I don't think it'll happen this season. I am being pragmatic, and Mil Muertes, everybody is gunning for Mil Muertes. But I believe that his time is close, that Johnny Mundo is going to be Lucha Underground champion. Maybe season 3, because I even tweeted, like, I think Mil Muertes' reign is 32 flavors of screwed now. Because now that Johnny Mundo has a valet, what else does he need? Like, this is the best he's been, and he's been doing this for 10 years. He's got a valet now. Everything's rounded out. If they ever want to give him the world title, I'm not going to say that it's not time. Like, I think he's got everything he could conceivably need to get all the mileage out of that. I think his time's at hand. I hope it is. I really hope it is, because this is amazing. I love that even now he's still adding stuff. He's still doing new stuff. And I'm so excited for this pairing, dude. And this was a great freaking match. And the thing is, how great, and again, I'm being serious, how great does it make Cage look that you needed to take a pipe to the fucking skull to be beat for a 3 count? Like, holy shit, if I'm Mundo, in all seriousness, I don't want a rematch. I don't, because if it takes a pipe to beat this guy, good God, now he's going to be really pissed because I cheated him out of a win when he's gunning for Mil Muertes. So now, what's Cage going to be like? Because when he was pissed at the Mac, you know what he did to the Mac. So now what's he going to do to Johnny Mundo? And, you know, I love it, dude. I love it from every possible angle. This was amazing. I'm in freaking just nirvana right now. Like I said, I consumed Cloud9. I said that to you earlier. I swallowed its essence, and I've just been carrying it around ever since. This is amazing. So, what were your thoughts, since I blathered on enough for the both of us? But I want to get your...
I just kind of, well, first of all, it's awesome that Mundo won. First of all, that's the big one.
Yeah.
But also, I think that Mundo and Taya Valkyrie are like I feel like they're like my OTP right now, because they just, like, even just the way they work, like, you've basically got 2 freaking mesomorphs out there with these broad shoulders and these big arms and these ripped abs. And it just freaking works, man. Like, I love it.
Man, I'm so glad you and I are the same, because I really am trying to be serious about this. This isn't me just being like, the Mundo, like, you can tell, I know you can tell the difference when I'm trying to give serious analysis in the Mundo market. Right, this is me being serious. Like, it does work. I see these 2 together, and I'm just like, you know what? Makes sense to me. Like, I don't feel the need to question. And again, like, I don't want anybody to think, like, that shallow, because I don't mean it in that way. It just feels natural to me seeing these 2 together. And that's why I want to hear them talk. I want to hear them interact on that level. You know what? Like, and I know, like, again, this is kind of the Mundo mark coming out, and I can acknowledge that. I want to see Mundo and Taya Valkyrie confront Mil Muertes and Catrina, the pair confronting the pair. Like, I want to see that shit, dude. Like, as a Mundo fan, obviously, I may never come down. I'm actually scared for myself. Normally I come down by now. I still haven't. Like, I gotta get myself to an emergency room or some shit.
You know what, though? It's hard to tell whether you're struggling to come down from the win and the pairing, or the fact that he tweeted you earlier.
Yeah, that's another thing too. For anybody that doesn't know at this point, because I tried broadcasting him from another fucking galaxy all the way over.
I posted it on Twitter. I posted it on Facebook. I texted you like 5 times. I even tried calling your cell phone, which I never do. Yeah. And you were just completely out of, and then he gets on and it turns out he was taking a nap. So yeah, congratulations. You missed, you experienced the greatest moment of your life and you slept through it. So good job.
I know. Like, it's always so funny, because how did I always, like, compare to you? Because when you would be like, oh, John, how cool would it be if Mundo would tweet or do this? And I'd be like, oh, that would be like a comet passing or whatever. And just like
you also always tended to say, yeah, don't get your hopes up. It's never going to happen.
Exactly. But just like a comet every 1,000 years, of course, when the day finally comes, I sleep through it. But then when I woke up to see it, it
was... You have any idea how many blue moons I've slept through?
Dude, I feel your pain, brother. But, like, when I saw it, best fucking day as a Mundo fan, because you're telling me, in one day, I get the tweet, he beats Cage, who everybody was like, Cage is gonna run through him, and I stuck by my boy, stuck by my guy, 9 years going strong, and Taya Valkyrie debut. I even told Ash that the only thing that could have topped it is if the world title was on the line, because I wouldn't even be alive. You wouldn't even be getting this. Ashton would be giving my eulogy episode of TWitWoW. I'd be like, guys, afraid to say that John didn't make it, and then, that's just it, because then you're all sobbing, because I know that I'm just so beloved, even as Johnny Scumbag. But in all seriousness, yeah, that's the only thing that could have topped it. And, like, this has just been amazing, and I'm so happy he won. But I can't lose.
I'm telling you, man, these Lucha Underground writers, they're gonna do it. They're gonna be the first people to ever give Johnny Mundo an actual world title. And it might not be this season, and it might not be next season, but it feels there's that longing sense of inevitability that it's just lingering.
Season 3 or 4, man. And you know what? Like, my thing is, and let me just put this out there, I don't even care if the reign lasts that long. I just want the mark out. I just want to lose my shit one final time for, like, a big title win for somebody that I've given a shit about for almost 10 years. Like, yeah. I feel like if there was ever a time, now that he's got Taya Valkyrie, the time is close at hand, people. And I know, and I'll be the first one to admit, I've said it a million times before. Call this 1,000,001. But it just feels like all the pieces are really finally starting to come together. But with that said, I could talk about Mundo all night, as you guys know, but we have more pressing matters. He gets the win. Him and Taya get the beatdown, but the night doesn't end there, because as we already kind of noted at the beginning, we get King Cuerno confronting Catrina, and he just had to open mouth and insert foot. Because now he's pretty much laying down that he doesn't want to lug around the Gift of the Gods championship anymore. He is gunning for Mill. And Catrina's face just immediately changes, Ashton, because she detects a threat. And what does Catrina do when she senses a threat?
Takes care of it.
Exactly. Puts that shit down.
Down! Get down!
Exactly, because she informs King Cuerno, all right, well, the rules, gotta have a week. And, in that time, you're gonna defend against Phoenix. And
a ladder match.
But... Yeah, and I love how she tells it too. She revels in it because she's like, we know Phoenix can fly, and I hope you can too, because it's a ladder match. Wow.
I kind of just realized I have a heat of the night this week.
You're kidding me.
I have a heat of the night because we have a ladder match and Dario Cueto isn't going to be able to announce it.
Oh my God. You got me. You got me. That somber tone. I was like, you got to be kidding me. But yeah.
It's a real issue, man. I mean, Catrina's great and all, but we need Cueto to announce the ladder match.
Dude, he is planning something.
Or if you listen to his 30-second message that got posted on Twitter a couple days ago.
I have to say something, and this is probably going to be something stupid, even, I guess, by Lucha Underground standards, but I wonder if he's feeding all these people to Matanza because the more he eats, the stronger he gets.
Either that or sustenance. He needs to eat people to survive.
Dude, whatever it is, it's horrifying. And
you could say horrifying. I prefer amazing.
Yeah, that too. It's like, if I was to confront Matanza, I'd scream, and then in between my screams, I'd be like, this is amazing, and then scream, and then I'd have no face. And then, that's it. So.
I imagine you doing that thing where you, like, reach your left arm through your right arm and use your right hand to cover your face and just swing with your left hand.
Yeah. It's like, and then when that gets torn off and I'm screaming in pain, it's over. Like, that's more or less what it comes down to. So we know King Cuerno and Phoenix, except for a ladder match next week, they just keep upping the ante on this goddamn show. I love it. But, Ashton, is there anything else you want to say, man?
I just imagine you and Matanza, and you go into it like a South Park slap fight, and then he just opens up wide and devours your face.
Ashton, I'm actually going to thank you for that, because you still, even after that, gave me more offense than I deserve. Because the only offense I would get is...
Oh, don't get me wrong, he would no-sell everything. But, like, you would try, and he would just kind of stare at you in amazement, like, wow, he's actually trying. and then he would eat your face.
Exactly. Exactly.
But it's okay, because I would probably get just as far.
It'd be like, you ain't my friend, how dare you punch? And then Matanza's just like, if he could even speak, he'd probably be like, well, what was that? And then he'd be like, I don't know, I tried. And then eat face. Like, that's just it. Matanza's unstoppable. I don't even know if Mil Muertes can stop Matanza. It may take a concerted effort of people joining forces that didn't even want to join forces. I'm talking like Muertes, Puma, Pentagon, like guys like that coming together as a coalition to even stand a chance against Matanza. And as far as this whole tribal warfare goes, good God, so many things going on in the temple right now. But with that said, is there anything else you want to say before we get to our final segment?
That I'm in love with this show, and every time it ends is the worst time of my week.
You know what? I laugh, but you just spoke such a powerful truth that just cuts so deep and so close.
And the worst part is, a lot of the time, the high point of my week is the post-credits scene, because they always have some of the most important story angles there. And then it ends, and then it's over, and then I have to wait another 6 days and 23 hours to enjoy my life again.
Oh my God, that tone the entire time. It's like, yeah, it was good, and then you just go back to realizing that your life is shit until it comes around again. Like, but yeah,
dude,
again.
I can't wait, because there was a rumor that they're gonna be doing a movie, the Lucha Underground movie.
Oh my God.
That's pretty much the exact same reaction I had, which, it's weird, because if you think about it, Lucha Underground kind of is a 60-minute movie every week. I wonder if they're just going to do basically like an hour and a half extended Lucha Underground episode, but outside of the temple, where you're kind of following a character in the streets, kind of like what we get in the comics.
Dude, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did that, because if they've already elevated television as far as wrestling goes, who's to say they wouldn't do the same thing for film? And that's exactly my reaction. With that said, high spots and low shots.
I mean, the low shot is obviously WWE for getting shown up.
Yeah, you know what? Normally I say it as a joke. I am going to commit to it this week. The low shot is us, because we still have to wait every single week after an episode ends.
Give us a real low shot. Come on.
That's going to be my honorary low shot, and that's my final. Okay,
comment. That's fine, but we're not putting that on paper.
Real low shot. You know what? I'm going to say my real low shot's King Cuerno. Because, you opened your mouth. He won, but you had to open your mouth and challenge Mil Muertes. Why? You had a good thing going. You were safe, and now you're in their crosshairs. So, to me, he won, but the bigger fight is still ahead. Because now, the guy that beat him in a last luchador standing, by tipping him on a ladder through a table from eye distance, he has to beat that guy now in a ladder match. And he's pretty prone to flying, in case you couldn't freaking tell. So, King Cuerno.
He's also prone to flying through buildings.
Yeah, oh my God, that's so true. So King Cuerno is my legitimate low shot.
Okay, my low shot, just because of this week. Now, our low shot, sometimes it's a culmination of a story, sometimes it's because we see dreadful things in the future, like what you're saying with Cuerno. My low shot is exclusively based on this week, and a little bit what we've seen so far. PJ Black. He is 0-2 now, and I know bright things are in his future, but right now is a low point for him.
Exactly. Honorary high spot, Famous B. I'm loving that he's going places finally. Congrats to you.
I literally just oohed and awed at you. I just want you to realize that.
That's amazing.
Didn't even think about it while I was doing it. Those are just my natural reactions to what you were saying.
I think he deserves it. I think it's a wonderful story that a guy can lose and then look impressive in one battle royal, but still lose, and then come back all this time later, and it's like they push the reset button, and now I'm just really excited what they're going to do for this guy. As far as my high spot, it's going to be kind of a thing, because I'm going to do the pair, Taya Valkyrie and Johnny Mundo. Did you think anything else? You watched this show. You knew. You all knew. They won. They're fucking awesome. And you know what? Fuck everyone else. Yes. Yes! Your next stop, Lucha Underground Championship, and that's really all I gotta say. But, like, Johnny Mundo should be should just be an adjective that describes a whole new plateau of greatness. Like, once I say the name, it should make all the sense to you people in the world. So, yeah, Johnny Mundo and Taya Valkyrie, because they're freaking amazing, and they're taking over the motherfucking world. So, there you go.
Hey, John, how would you, what adjective would you use to describe Lucha Underground?
Johnny Mundo.
That's right.
Yeah, baby.
Freaking Mundo.
Johnny fucking Mundo. Yeah, so, Ashton, now that I pretty much took the obvious choices away.
Yeah, you definitely took the most worthy high spot of the night.
Who do you got?
Thanks, jerk.
Hey, you can co-sign, man. The Palace of Wisdom's got plenty of room. Just wipe your shoes off on the map before you come in first.
I don't want to co-sign, though. No. You know what? No. My high spot is, it's clearly, John, my high spot. Shut up! My high spot is Drago.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's nice.
No, that doesn't make sense either. That makes no sense whatsoever. So, you know what? I'm going to just go the cop-out way. I'm just going to say my high spot's Jack Evans, because he picked a fight with a dragon, and he still can call himself the Dragon Slayer because he did not get misted tonight. And he got a win.
Yeah, to me, dude, he's in Drago's head. Because, like, Drago screwed up. Like, he had revenge planned. Jack Evans averted it. Jack Evans, psychologically, is winning this war with the dragon. And I think that tells a very interesting story. And especially now that Drago's created another enemy when he just wanted to deal with Jack Evans. Like, it's a rough time. So, I actually really like that pick. Great stuff. Man, I'm in such a good mood. And on that note, everybody, I'm just
gonna say it right now. I hate your face for stealing the best high spot.
You could have co-signed, man.
You could have picked one of the two and given me the other one.
You know, I could have done that, but I didn't.
But Johnny Scumbag.
Johnny Scumbag, yes. Oh, God, I feel like kicking a Girl Scout in the face. Anyway.
Oh, my God. Listen to yourself.
Fuck your Thin Mints. But anyway, oh, my God. Anyway.
I do prefer Chunky Monkey.
Do you? You know what?
I don't even know if that's a cookie flavor or an ice cream flavor, honestly.
I think that's an ice cream flavor, but regardless, I think I still have ice cream in the freezer, actually. I might have a little dish afterwards, but on that note, because I don't even know where this is going anymore.
South.
This has been Lucha Underground, the best fucking show on the planet.
The air in our Nimbus is slowly being let out, John. Close it.
Exactly. This has been Lucha Underground. This has been TWitWoW. The best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my co-horn commentary, Ashton. Guys, be sure to comment and subscribe on YouTube. Ashton, what question do you have for our subscribers this week?
Why exactly does this show have to end?
Yes! If you can give us a legitimate answer to that question, I would really appreciate it.
No, but really, a more legitimate question, what do you do to cope with only having 1 hour of Lucha a week?
I'm kind of scared to know your answer to that question the way your tone
No,
was.
I mean, I don't cope. That's why I'm so miserable all the time.
He needs tips, people. Come and help my co-horn commentary out. Believe me, he's worth it.
I personally tend to cope by doing a combination of multiple things. First of all, I watch the episode over and over again.
Yeah.
That just makes sense. Second of all, I go back and listen to our own reviews of it because I'm a mark for myself like that. Third of all, I listen to other people's reviews, which, I mean, for the most part, completely inferior, but I will give credit to The Last Real Heels. Those guys are awesome. They're legit. Listen to them. I will also give credit to AfterBuzz TV. I'm a fan of theirs. And whenever they decide to talk about Lucha Underground, Podswoggle is always amazing. So that's where my credit goes to. And finally, the comic has really helped this season with coping.
Only because you mentioned those guys, I feel more comfortable about saying these things. First of all, guys, do check out AfterBuzz on Thursday, I believe it is, Ashton.
Thursday nights it's a weird time. Most people probably won't want to check it out because most people have jobs, like, real jobs, like 9 to 5 jobs. But it's at 10 p.m. It's actually, usually they don't start until like 20 after or even 10:30, 10. But that's Pacific time. So if you're on the East Coast, it's at 1 o'clock in the morning or 1:30 in the morning. And John and I are already night owls to begin with, so that's not even an issue for us. But I'm sure it'll be an issue for most people. And of course, then if you're in the UK, you're just completely boned because then it's at 6 o'clock in the morning. So, yeah.
But you guys are gonna.
I mean, if you just subscribe to it, it's on iTunes. You can subscribe to it. We'll be back on iTunes eventually, I promise.
Absolutely, you know it, and you're gonna want to check it out this Thursday or whenever you can because of all the options like Ashton listed. Because Catrina will be on it.
That's right. Yeah, they've had some pretty great guests so far. They had the Mac on a couple weeks ago. They had Joey Ryan on last week. Yeah, they have some pretty crazy good guests.
And as far as the last real heel goes, really cool guys. I had a nice banter with J-Man on Twitter, which, by the way, I'll be sending a packet of melted butter your way to help the Crow go down because I know he was going for Cage in this matchup.
Oh, wow.
Yeah!
There you go.
Yeah! So there you go. Be sure to take your enthusiasm, though, for Lucha Underground. Like we said in the comments, how do you
If you're a Lucha Underground fanatic, I'm going to just say it. Tweetoff is a very WWE and NXT-centric sort of group. So if you're a Lucha Underground fanatic, go to the TWitWoW stuff. Go to TWitWoW, our subreddit, our Facebook page, and most importantly, tweet us because we will talk Lucha anytime, anywhere. I've already woken up to my phone buzzing at 3:30 in the morning, and someone tweeted me something about Lucha, and I replied to them, and we got into like a 30-minute conversation about Lucha.
Yeah, guys, I mean, I'm just going to go through, and you'll get that plug at the end in case you want to know our Twitter handles.
And I honestly think 3:30 in the morning is even a bit of, an understatement. I think it was more like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Wow, okay, but yeah, that just showed, like, man, the enthusiasm, though. Do take the conversation, though, because the Lucha Underground presence is growing, but I do agree with Ashton, which we'll get to those sources in a second. Take the conversation over to Tweetoff, that is pro wrestling. It's taking over Facebook. A lot of people starting to recognize Lucha Underground, loving it, especially in comparison to the...
Plus, if you go there and you want to talk Lucha, it'll help to kind of broaden the Lucha Underground community within Tweetoff, but... If you just straight up want to get right down to the nitty gritty without having to be, without having to spoon feed people information about it, Twitter is probably the best place, but then also the TWitWoW subreddit and Facebook page.
Yes, which like that Facebook page, comment on it, interact with it.
Yeah.
Be sure, again, TWitWoW subreddit, as you create it, you can find all of our TWitWoW content there. We've got a nice core community there. You can start threads on all things related to pro wrestling. Yes, that includes Lucha Underground, so whatever you want to talk about, get at us there. And of course, and we're getting to it now, follow us on Twitter on the ground level. Again, I am at John_TwitWoW. Ashton's at A.
By the way, John his name is John, not just Jon. I know that there are some people that still call you John without an H. It does have an H in it.
Yes.
And mine is the letter A, the word pond, like a frickin' body of water, 404, as in like the kind of error you get when you go to a website on a page that they don't recognize.
Yes, that's where you get us on the ground level. I mean, Lucha Underground primarily because we can't get enough of the stuff, but I mean, Raw, NXT, like all your stuff on the ground level for us. So Twitter is the best source. So be sure to follow both of us. And guys, we will see you again for our NXT review, where Baymella is looking to settle the score with Eva Marie and Nia Jax.
Can I just say, you talking about Baymella and Nia Jax just makes NXT feel so pathetic compared to Lucha.
Yeah. So until then, on that note...
It sounds like a kid's show.
It does. It really does. What happened to my life? But tune in and peace out, guys. We'll see you then.